Day 5, we are talking about stubborn fat. It is the bane of so many women's existence, and it comes on the tails of yesterday. We were talking about loss of muscle. It is that double whammy alongside shifting hormones, loss of testosterone, estrogen, high cortisol, thyroid dysfunction, insulin resistance. It is the perfect storm. So, what happens even if the scale didn't change? Sometimes women don't necessarily gain weight, but they notice more of a redistribution of fat, especially around the belly. We have at least 70% more cortisol receptors in the abdomen than anywhere else. So that can be a huge thing, as can insulin resistance, as can loss of hormones. They all contribute to store it right here. So that I know is a big source of frustration. Sometimes it's everywhere. We can also tell if it's just lower body. Maybe it's just in your hips and butt. That might be cortisol. It could be estrogen dominance. So we need to figure out what's going on, but it starts with the basics of sleep and HPA axis, adrenal and cortisol support, prioritizing stress management, prioritizing gut health. Now, fiber and antioxidants are really important for mobilizing the toxins that poison our thyroid, our sex hormones, cause us to be insulin resistant, but also keep all of those levels in check. I can look at someone's gut microbiome test and tell what they're putting in their mouth by how much they're fighting against weight loss resistance by their gut microbes, by the composition. So that is a very, very important place to start. As I mentioned, aim for 35 grams of fiber. Food first is always important, and if you can sneak in extra high fiber foods, avocado is really rich in soluble fiber. Seeds are a great source, chia, hemp, flax. But then also, if you need to supplement, that can be a good option. Stay away from the orange, chemical laden, sugar laden ones. Some of my favorite supplemental fibers, just to help with the gut microbial diversity. And of course, you're not surprised, I like to rotate them, but things like sun fiber is very gentle and it is powerful for bringing down cholesterol and mobilizing estrogen dominance if that's an issue, high blood sugar. I like psyllium husk. Some people can't tolerate psyllium husk fiber. It's a nice simple one. It's good. You can add in some baking and things like that. Any kind of pectin, apple pectin or citrus pectin are really good sources. They also help to bind a lot of chemicals and toxins. And then you can find resistant starch fiber. That's going to help to produce short chain fatty acids in your gut. The other thing is baseline cortisol levels rise in perimenopause and beyond. So even if a woman is like, not stressed, I don't feel stressed, their body is saying otherwise. And because estrogen balances cortisol, so as that goes down, relative cortisol is going to be higher. That is just how it is. That's just the emotional, psychological stressors. The other thing is if there's some sort of chronic low-grade infection going on in your body, and we can see that through inflammation markers. We can see that through some of the white blood cell, lymphocyte, neutrophil markers in the gut microbiome. About 70% of the immune system is in there. If your body's fighting some kind of low-grade chronic infection, or if you've got blood sugar swinging from high to low throughout the day, that is a very stressful event for your body. So that is something too, and your body doesn't really tell the difference. So again, we're coming back to prioritizing a stress management practice. Are you getting 7 to 9 hours of deep restorative sleep, cooling the room, dimming the lights, aiming for the same sleep-wake time, prioritizing anti-inflammatory whole foods? Consider shifting your workouts from fasted cardio to fasted walking first thing in the morning. Because a lot of times with women in a high cortisol, catabolic muscle breakdown state, fasted exercise in the morning or morning fasting is not our friend, because it keeps our bodies in this high stress cortisol muscle breakdown state. So having a little bit of food on board can be good. The exception would be getting out to do an early morning walk. If you can get some of that natural light on your eyes first thing when the sun is close to the horizon, even on a cloudy day, that is powerful. And it moves you straight into fat burning mode without spiking cortisol like other forms of cardio. And then if you can get your workout in, or strength training, or some extra movement in, or a workout around a meal, that is ideal, because then your muscles can just pull it straight in. So fasted walking, weights, and then if you love cardio, try doing some shorter but very intense bursts. You can do it alongside on a walk or on a bike or on a run, but I'm talking like 20 seconds all out, maybe 6 to 8 of those with plenty of rest in between, not like a 45-minute HIIT class. There's a ton of research behind groups of women who did this shorter but more intense bursts and walking and small HIIT versus longer steady state cardio, which for some women, it's hard to get out of their head because they think the calorie burn is the only thing that matters, but it really comes down to the hormonal signaling. Is it telling us to burn fat or store fat? And it's coming down to what we're putting in our body. So this week, we're getting back to some basics with just changing up your exercise routine a little bit, even if it's just this week. See how you feel and let me know.